Hello, I'm Frost and welcome back to my tutorial guide on Phoenix Point. This is episode 3 and in this episode we're going to be covering havens and trading. Okay, so here we go. We're on the geoscape or the world map, and as you can see I have literally just found a Phoenix base called Phoenix Omega. Now be aware that these bases are completely random. Now in this particular game I found one pretty much early on in literally the very first few turns, but sometimes it can take a real long time to find one, so don't get frustrated if you don't find one straight away. It's not the end of your game. You can still do very well with one base, but obviously if you have more than one it gives you a lot more flexibility. So let's look at this. The way we look at the base is we click on it and we do base info. Now this will be exactly the same as your other base, and as you can see you can access both your bases at any time. So you just hit the bases button at the bottom here on the bar, and then you can go back to Phoenix Point, which we can see, and then we've got Phoenix Omega, which is our new base. So essentially we can build different components for our base, and these building blocks give us more features. Now I'm on Phoenix Omega and I'm going to click on build, and as you can see everything is grayed out at the moment, and the reason why everything is grayed out is because I don't have enough materials. So I'm going to have to trade with somebody in order to get materials. Fortunately I have food, but as you can see I am on -7 at the moment. The reason why I'm on -7 food is if we go back to my geoscape, you can see I have 6 units here, and I've also recruited another unit. So I have 7 units and one excuse me, one food production plant isn't enough to sustain everybody. So what I have done, if I go back into my bases, if you go back to Phoenix Point, you can see down here in the bottom left hand corner I have food production, 2 days under construction. But as you're going to see later on, we're going to want to have more food. So let's go back to the geoscape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to trade. So the thing that I need is I need the materials, which are the orange hexes. So I'm going to go to the Synedrion one first. Let's move there. Now you can see it's taking a bit of a while to move there, and also I want to speed things up. So what I'm going to do is on the right hand side here, I'm going to click on the plus icon, and it's going to go from up to fast. So you can see that I now have those 3 bars. So that's slow, medium, fast, just so you're aware you can speed up the clock. So I'm going to go into base haven info, and you can see that here the trades are tech for food or tech for materials. Now that's not what I want. I've got food and I want to trade. Also be aware that even though the trade shows 2 arrows between the 2 items, you can only trade in one direction. As you can see there's the kind of the stripes that are going across. That's the direction of your trade, left to right. So you can, in this case you can trade tech for apples, or you can trade tech and get materials. So that doesn't help us, so we're going to go back. And now we've speeded up the clock, we should be moved very quickly. Boom, there we go. Okay, forget the research, and we're going to do now haven info. There we go, so we can get apples for oranges. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade, and we're going to build up our materials. So let's do that. So as you can see I'm just clicking on it, and my food production is going down and my materials are going up, and I'm just literally emptying their stores there. Generally you want to stay above like 200 if you can on your food, just so you've always got a bit of a buffer. Also you're going to need, as you know, you've probably found out, you need the food, the materials and the tech in order to recruit new units as well. So there we go, so we're all stocked up. I don't actually have to fly back to my base, we can just do it from here. So I'm going to click on bases. So at the moment this is Phoenix Point, so we can see that's under construction. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do our repairs, and we are also going to build another food production plant. So we can repair this one straight away, so that's great, so let's do that. Now you can see it's telling me I need 88 materials and 18 tech. Be aware, if you do not have enough, in other words you've got less than 88 materials or less than 18 cogs, it will not tell you. It will just basically, you just keep clicking the button and it will do nothing. So if that's happening to you, check your materials and tech, make sure you've got at least 100 materials and you've got at least 20 tech, and go, if not, go and trade some, and then you'll be able to repair the facility. So we're going to repair that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different facilities that we can build. So we click on build. Very first up is the research lab. So at the moment I have 1 research lab. if I build another one, then my research will go twice as fast. This is a global facility, which means that they don't have to be in the same base. They just kind of combine all together, so you can have them dotted absolutely anywhere. Next up is your satellite uplink. Now the satellite uplink is, as you know, you can do an area scan, but you can only do one area scan at a time. If you build more satellite uplinks, even with the same aircraft, you can have multiple area scans going at the same time. So we're going to do that so we can do more exploring. So we're going to build that, and then we're going to look at this one here. So we're going to build down here. So they've grayed out again, obviously, because now I've run out of materials. Energy generator. So your energy generator, we've got one here that produces 20 units of energy, and then each one of your units will then use different amounts. So for example, the vehicle bay here is using 1. If we go back to Phoenix Point, we've got more operational. You can see the fabrication plant at the top uses 3, satellite uplink uses 2, research lab 3, so on, so on. So obviously once you get to 20, then you need to build another plant if you want to be able to access more facilities. So coming back, we are going, oh good, this time it's gone on the left hand side, that's much better. We have the living quarters. So living quarters recover stamina, and these are base specific. So the living quarters and the medical bay are base specific. So in other words, your units have to be in that base in order to make use of these facilities. So living quarters means you recover your stamina, and medical bay means you recover your health points. And these stack. The more you have, the faster it affects it. So a medical bay restores 4 hit points per hour, 2 will do 8 per hour. Pretty straightforward. So that's your living quarters and medical bay. Oh, hang on. Let me just click on build again. There we go. Now your store is your store where you basically, as you're picking up loot and you're picking up bits and pieces, they all get stored. And that's the figure at the top here, which is 200. So each store will add 200. So if you build another one, you've got 400, pretty obvious. But what you need to know is that this is a global pool. So you don't have to worry about stocking stuff in a particular base. It just becomes a global, there's a secret conveyor system, you know, like Space Engineers, you know, it's just moving stuff around magically. So the moment you've got stores, then it just goes to the global pool, and everything is always accessible to you wherever you are. So there you go. So that's the store. Now the access lift essentially means that if you have units in the Phoenix base and it gets attacked by Pandorans or one of the factions, if you've got bad standings with the factions, then your units can then immediately go up through the access lift and protect the base. If not, then you're going to have to fly people in order to be able to protect it. So not something you really need early game, but just be aware that it's there. Right, fabrication plant and your research one, which is where's my research one gone? I'm missing it now. Ah, there it is. The research lab was the first one I mentioned. Okay, so your fabrication plant and your research lab, those obviously same as the fabrication. Research speeds up your research, fabrication speeds up your fabrication. And once again, this is global. It goes into a pool. So it just doubles if you add another one, triples if you add a third, so on and so forth. All right, and then we got our last one, which is food production. Now, food production is really important because it is the only thing that you can make. So in other words, you can't make tech, you can't make materials, but you can produce food. So this is not only just a source of sustenance for your units, but it's also your main trading tool. So really, when you have a new base like this, what you want to do is you want to build food stores, and you want to build quite a few. Then that way you'll be building up lots of food, which you can then trade for lots of materials and lots of tech, and then you can buy loads of weapons and vehicles and buy new troops and so forth. So that is really your income generator. It's your faucet. It's the thing that gives you the means to be able to buy stuff without having to go and explore and scavenge sites all the time. And it's a lot quicker as well. So there you go. So what we're going to do now is we're actually just going to go back to the geoscape, and we're just going to let this run just for a minute. I just want to show you the satellite uplink. There we go. I'm going to just close these as they go along. I'm just going to move down here for now. Continue. Okay, let's move down. And we're going to start, and actually we're going to leave that running. I'm going to wait for the satellite uplink to finish. There we go, up. Nearly there. In the last hour, almost. There we go. Right, good. So we're going to pause that. I'm going to slow down our clock again. So now what it means, I can start an area scan here. Actually, let me speed it back up. And then I can go all the way up here. Juice, juice, juice. And there we go. And I can see now I've started 2 area scans. So that's the benefit of having the 2 satellite uplinks. Right, that pretty much wraps it up. The only thing you need to be aware of is obviously if you're trading, you need to have good standings. So in order to be able to have good standings with the relations, then obviously you have to go into your diplomacy tab. And here you could see that, you know, I'm friendly with everybody right now. It's early game, so you get on with everybody. So friendly 17 with Jericho, 15 Disciples, and 17 Synedrion. So that means I can trade with everybody. As the game progresses, that will not be the case. So you just need to be aware of that. All right, that covers Havens. I hope you found that useful. And that wraps up this episode. If you liked it, then please like. If you disliked, then do the same. And if you want to know more about new releases that I do, then please click the bell icon and please subscribe. Right, okay, that's all for now. Bye.